Here we go.
Do we need new music?
I don't know.
Or are we just going to roll with this?
Do y'all like this music,
This
or
is
is it
like-
annoying?
This is like the canned board music. I mean, I do like
I
it.
don't even we can look up and how to add a new song, but then we got to worry about like copyright.
All that crap.
Although this could be copyright too. I don't.
That's
I
true.
don't know what this is.
We could get some copyright strikes.
All of our podcasts might get struck.
Yep. It's okay.
It's all right.
There we go.
How is everybody doing
Bring it
today?
back. Yeah, I hope you're doing
Welcome
good.
back to another fishing, not catching
Podcast. I love how you got like the deep voice down.
podcast.
I can't do it.
Hopefully, by
Sounds
the
so juicy.
time that y'all are listening to this, you're able to find us on Apple Podcasts.
That has
Apple
been
Podcasts.
the biggest headache.
Some of them were so easy, and Apple was not.
Not at all.
We got confirmation yesterday that we are actually listed, but we cannot search
Still
and
can't find
us
it.
yet. So who knows?
It's such a mystery. Like literally every other one was like, you click a button, oh, you're up. And
Yeah.
Apple has taken over a month, and we finally figured out we had one more thing to do because you had to go through like this whole process. Finally found it yesterday, and I added it. But then you said you had even emailed them.
Yeah, I emailed the
They're
Buzzsprout support, and they're like, "Well, we added
do
it for you."
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I found it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I was determined. I sat down, I'm like, what the crap is going on with this? And I think I figured it out. Anyway.
But hopefully, you're listening there.
Yeah.
If not, well, I don't know.
Yeah. Good luck. But we're on YouTube, of course, if
Yeah.
you're watching this here on YouTube. And we are on
Google, Spotify,
all the things.
everywhere.
And hopefully.
But I think not everywhere, because I actually got a message from a guy that was like, I don't even remember the platform now, but he couldn't find us on whatever he normally listens on.
How?
I don't know.
What else is there? We're on like,
We're on like 10 or 12.
I mean,
There's just like other random ones, I guess.
that's so weird. I mean, we're like in all these.
As long as we can be on Apple, Google, Spotify, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we got our bases covered for the most part.
We do have a Facebook page now.
Yeah.
And an Instagram.
Yeah, we're
so if
trying
you're
to-
on Facebook or Instagram, go check out Fishing Not Catching.
There is so much.
Yeah.
Like if you want to try to be
We
a
still got to
content
do a
creator,
TikTok.
oh gosh, man, it's just like nonstop work content. It's insane. Like it's incredible if you want to build a brand or start a, really launch it and go right, do
Yeah.
it the right way, and be on all the things everywhere. There's so much.
I know. I don't think I've really said publicly. It doesn't really matter. But I hired an editor to do all of my short form stuff for Bearded Brad. And now that we're doing this podcast, like I'm back to editing some reels, trying to edit reels for this podcast to post on the podcast social media. And it's just like
It's crazy. I mean,
one
it's
thing
fun.
after
We're,
another. It
we're not
is.
complaining. Like it's fun. It's just it's like dang, you feel like yeah, man, we're rocking and rolling. It's like oh yeah, we still haven't done that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we have done that.
And for some reason, I decided I'm starting another channel. So I have
what an idiot!
one more thing to edit. And
You're
God.
so dumb, Brad.
crazy, man.
And we get like, and we're doing all this stuff on Facebook, and can you imagine the Facebook comments you're about to the influx with all these new pages that you're starting? All
Yeah.
these Facebook comments you're going to be getting.
I've already seen a couple. I don't remember what they were off the top of our head, but about the reels we posted on our podcast Facebook page.
Oh yeah,
We got something that was like telling us we're stupid or something.
Of
I don't
course.
remember what exactly it was, but I know when I get into my other YouTube channel, it's going to be. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with Bearded Brad Barbecue.
Ooh,
Sounds good. I think I can build a
Nice.
brand around that. So I think I'm going to go with Bearded Brad Barbecue. It's going to be mainly grilling,
Bearded
smoking,
Brad
stuff like that.
awesome.
So yeah, I can already hear the comments of like, "That's not how you cook a steak, you
It's wrong
idiot."
temperature. Oh gosh,
You're supposed to reverse sear.
it's so like Facebook. We've really dove into it like not surprising. I have like a hair that's like tickling me down here, so I'm trying to get it out.
Yeah,
of
it's
the way.
about time you cut that thing.
Yeah, I got some serious hair going. But Facebook, we were on YouTube for a long time, and YouTube you can get some pretty big haters.
Yeah.
But most of the time, the people that are there want to be there, and the hate that you get is pretty minimal and not that extreme.
Yeah.
But Facebook, because of the way their algorithm works, and they are posting it in front of literally like everybody in the world.
Yeah, like they'll show our fishing videos to people that don't even like fishing.
Exactly. You get the raunchiest, hateful
Dude.
comments. And not only that, like everybody's an expert and everybody thinks that they have it figured out. And it's just it's so dumb.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. Like there's a couple of videos where I kind of titled it around this concept where I have a stationary camera set up, watching my rods, fishing the beach, because I do so much beach fishing. And a huge thing that you want to see when you're watching a beach fishing video is that strike.
Right.
Like you want to see that rod bend over, bow over, or whatever. And a lot of times, I've got that third person camera rolling
Like the whole time.
the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near it. I may be off doing something else or working on something else, and I'm not paying attention to my rods at the time. I'm out there by myself. And so I get sometimes these shots where it's a fish and it hits, and it's on there for a good while before I notice it.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of fun. It's kind of entertaining because it gives you that anxious feeling. You're watching this rod bend over, and your audience is like, "Oh, get the rod,
Grab it.
get the rod!" So like you kind of build up on that. And so I'll title it something like, "I'm not paying attention," or "I wasn't watching my rod." And a couple of these short forms specifically have gone pretty viral on Facebook. And so you're going viral when you start getting all these comments. But people they're like, I call them super sleuths. Like they think they're super sleuths, and they like, "Oh, I'm going to figure this out." Like, you're up to something. You're not telling the truth. Like they think that I'm just here to dupe you. And they're like, "Well, you evidently," because I'll title it like, "I wasn't watching my rod." And they're like, "Well, obviously somebody was. They were filming it." I can't tell you how many of those comments I've gotten.
Man. You're like, yeah, maybe the camera that I set up 2 hours ago that's
Like,
been rolling all day.
But that's just one example,
Yeah.
one tiny example of the plethora of comments that you get around all these different things that like, for whatever reason, people just think they have it figured out. And there's, what
No, I was just trying to look for, I was trying to
What is
remember
that?
what, I don't know.
Oh, well,
I was just looking. I was
we don't
trying
have
to
the
see
volume up.
which thing was which. Okay, that. All right.
Were you trying to believe something?
Yeah. Well, because I wasn't trying to interrupt the podcast. I was just trying to look and see what was what. Because I was gonna say we have a lot of those people that do the whole like my is bigger than yours kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what we deal with a lot on there. Because like
That too, yes.
you post a picture and you're like, I caught this giant 43-inch snook, and they're like, dude, that thing is tiny. I caught a 44-inch. You're like, okay, but the 43 one is still pretty big.
Or somebody commented, I can't remember. I might have been on Sean's video because Sean went to South Florida with us, and he posted a reel or something like, this is a giant snook, and somebody commented like, "Oh, you can come to wherever they live and catch those all day long." And it's a 44-inch snook.
Yeah.
It's like, so we can come to wherever you are and literally catch 44-inch snook all day. Like you're just so dumb. Like don't even make that comment. Like you don't realize how big of a idiot you look like when you make those comments.
Yeah. I know I had a video not too long ago where I was just catching whiting from the beach, but I caught a giant, like 16 and a half. And I titled it something like that, like catching a giant from the beach. They're like, that's not a giant, 16 and a half inches. I'm like, well, have you ever caught a 16 and a half inch whiting?
Do you even know?
It's pretty dang big.
Right.
One.
That's huge. Yeah.
It's not far from the state record there, buddy.
Yeah. And people don't get what we do. Because these videos get in front of so many people, catching a big fish, regardless of species or whatever, if it's a big fish, it's a big fish. Like a redfish, say a 35-inch redfish. Is that an absolute gigantic redfish? Well, no. They get a lot bigger than that. Yeah. But that's a big fish.
They get a lot smaller, too.
Exactly. Like a 35-inch redfish or a 35-inch snook. That's a big fish.
I got those comments on the dusky shark video. I caught a 10'2" shark from the beach. And I caught an 11-foot or a 12-foot or a 13. I'm like, I don't care.
Nobody cares. And you have to title it that way just because that's what catches people's attention. But it's a big fish.
Yeah.
Why can't we say I caught a huge fish? I caught a monster. I caught a giant. Like, why is that so upsetting to you? Because you have heard, and most of these people, I guarantee you, haven't caught bigger fish.
Oh, no.
They just have seen it, or they caught one that was probably even smaller, but they thought it was bigger because,
right.
That's what everybody says.
I know, it's always funny if you're watching on YouTube when you get those, I saw a whiting and it was this big. I'm like, you're like almost 3 foot long between your hands.
Yeah, like no, people over exaggerate.
They know a lot of people get that. It's a fishing community. A lot of fishermen definitely over exaggerate, but
we see every one of them
funny.
in our comment section. It's mind blowing when you start seeing when you start getting that content in front of just all these people and you get these comments.
And then you get the ones that are like, you're just you little.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dang, dude.
I know. I mean, they will go off on, and your family too, you know?
Yeah.
It's just,
It's wild.
yeah.
And usually, like, if it gets that bad, I just block them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to use that much profanity, which, I mean, I use plenty of profanity
Well, sure,
outside
yeah.
of being on the podcast, but if you're going to use that on my page and call me all those, I'm just like, all right,
why are people
get
that
outta here.
angry?
I don't know.
And I don't understand, like, what are we doing to make, why are you so mad at us? We're just posting fishing videos.
Like, your life is that miserable that you need to call me all those
Chill.
things right now
Chill out.
over a fish?
Like, we caught a fish, we titled it something, why are you so triggered over that?
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's grown men.
Yeah.
Like, grown men, 50, 60, like, grown men. Like, you can look at their profile and you can see them, and it's like, dude, why are you, what?
You have issues.
I mean, I just don't understand. It blows my mind. I will never get that triggered over really anything.
Yeah.
Much less a freaking video on the internet
Right.
that has absolutely nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's crazy,
when
dude.
somebody's just trying to entertain you for 5 seconds. I mean, good gracious.
That's the things we deal with.
Yeah. So if you're ever looking to get into content creation and you start posting stuff on Facebook, just be prepared.
Got to have some thick skin.
You got to have some thick skin.
I'll be like, when we first started getting them,
Yeah, right, Brent. We're still kind of recovering
still
from
battling the illness.
We
there.
talked about it in the last podcast that we actually did just film.
Yeah.
Being honest, we try to change shirts and stuff, so it looks like we're
Surprise, here we are.
But we try to bang these things out when we get an opportunity because we do travel and do so much stuff. But
allergies getting to us.
we talked about it briefly. Yeah, we're both battling some sickness.
But like when I first started my channel, and this was before, which I mean I was friends with you, but I wasn't like doing a whole lot with you, Brant and Ron and everybody. But you'd get some of those negative comments on YouTube, and like it hurts and like stings a little bit. But now you're like, bring it on.
Oh yeah, no. And on YouTube, sometimes it can be a little bit more direct and upsetting, just because people. I don't know. A lot of times it can come from people that follow you for a while, and you may even recognize the name because they've commented so much, and you do something that they don't like, and they want to let you know about it. So that could be a little bit more upsetting. But like on Facebook, they're so raunchy and so out there, it doesn't even faze me.
No,
because it's just like what. Yeah, I mean, you just roll your eyes and like, what an idiot.
Yeah,
and people may be offended by that, but like, just go read through some of my comments because most people I would say are pretty. You all right, Brad?
Yep.
Need a cough drop?
I might. My throat's really, really dry.
Yeah, Courtney, you want to grab us a couple cough drops? Is Courtney still here, or did she already leave? Oh, she is.
I heard, I heard a chair move.
We're in my house. Why are we getting the glaring look?
They're literally like 2 feet.
We are connected.
I can't move.
I can't move.
Hey, lady,
you.
you're on the payroll.
That's right.
I'm working on my computer.
She is working. She is working. She is working.
If y'all want to see Courtney on a podcast, y'all comment below. Let us know.
Yeah, come.
He's good off camera.
We might have to get your Courtney and my Courtney on a podcast at the same time.
We should. That would be really. Let us
That could
know.
be interesting.
That would be.
It'll just be them two talking about us the whole time. We won't even have to talk.
We'll have to hire some babysitters,
Yeah,
but
that we would.
but we
You wouldn't be able to hear anything if we had all those kids.
Yeah, let us know if you can comment wherever you're listening or watching. Let us know if you want the two Courtneys.
Yeah.
We need to like come up with some kind of name or something for the fact, or something around the fact that our wives have the same name.
Like what?
I don't know,
I don't know either.
but it's just really funny that
The Courtneys.
like when we refer to them, that we're referring to both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
But utilizing the
Them.
I don't know.
Them.
I hope you're not watching or listening to what Brad just did. So,
Oh man.
and hopefully we won't smack too much with our.
I know, I'm
Cough
trying to
drops.
like not let it bang my teeth. but-
Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of let it rest them and stuff. Yeah, we can't travel to South Florida evidently without each kid. We went to
Tampa.
was it Tampa? Well, the first time this happened, we went to Sanibel. Right. I'm talking about the very first time me and you both got sick. Wasn't that the trip we went with Brant?
Last year?
Yeah, or in the spring or whenever that was. When was that?
I didn't think I got sick then, did I?
We both got it because I was in the car and you ended up getting it. Remember? You don't remember this? We got this. This has happened twice now.
I know, but
That's
there
my
was
point.
once in Tampa like a couple weeks ago.
I know.
And then it happened again in Jupiter. last
Well,
week.
I don't think I got sick in Tampa. Did you?
He did because we woke up that morning, and you got cough drops on the way to the Barramundi farm.
Oh, that's right. I mean, but it didn't last as long.
Yeah.
That was kind of a shorter lived thing. But yeah, we just can't travel to
Yeah.
South Florida together.
Allergies, man.
Yeah, but the other time
Allergies.
it happened in Tampa with Brant, or not in Tampa, in
Sanibel?
or Fort Myers with Brant.
Craziness. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is down there, but it's gotten us.
Yeah.
But speaking of Tampa, we went to Tampa with Salt Strong.
Yeah, that's right. We haven't talked about that.
I was on their podcast. You've been on a Salt Strong podcast, right?
I've been on two.
I did a podcast with Joe, and it's pretty cool. And we got to
Have they posted that yet?
I don't know. I haven't checked.
The Beard podcast.
I have not checked. Dang it!
I know, man. Sorry,
But
we're just trying to bang stuff
Yeah.
out. We're like so hardcore. We're sick.
the good thing is nobody's listening yet, and so
That's right. Yeah.
if it's not that good,
I don't know,
it's not-
dude. We got a few thousand views or
Yeah.
watches or whatever on
It's doing pretty good on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah. No, but on any other platform, we pretty much
Yeah,
suck.
it's slow so far.
Yeah.
But while we were down there in Tampa, we got to drive over to. I don't really know where in Florida. I just know it's Central Florida where it's hot as balls.
Oh, it was
But,
so hot that day.
We I heard Courtney laughing in the
Yeah,
background.
it was oppressive hot,
We
which
gotta go-
I like heat. Like I would much rather it be triple digits than anything else.
100%.
But it was way hot.
Yeah, it was miserable. But we got to catch some Barramundi, which is like I never really heard of them until we were going on this trip. But
Really?
just like an Australian
You
fish.
should have. We ate some with clickbaiters.
I remember that when you mentioned that.
The mukbang.
Yeah. I don't know if I enjoyed that or not, but I don't,
Well,
I don't think I really remembered like what we were eating or
yeah,
I don't know.
It was just all bad.
Yeah, I just knew like we were eating some random fish. I don't know that I knew that it was an Australian fish.
Barramundi.
But this place is the only place in the United States or like in North America that you can even catch these barramundi.
Which I don't even know how he does that.
I don't know. It sounds
Like
illegal, but
it totally sounds illegal, but it advertises it. People come there.
so when the one that I caught, the first one, he kept it and like threw it in this little pen because they're gonna sell it to the fish market. So they probably started as like a farm to raise these fish for selling them to fish markets.
But how is he the only one doing it?
I don't know. Probably because there's not a huge demand for barramundi. There's not a need to have more than one.
Baby, what do you want for dinner tonight?
Barramundi.
I could really go for some barramundi.
How about some bear undies?
Hey, speaking of undies,
Yeah.
you know what I'm about to
Yep.
say. Me and Brad were fishing.
Courtney, get ready.
We've got a great idea. This is the best good luck charm I've ever thought of. So we're fishing the beach the other day, and we're walking off the beach, which we ran into 3 different groups, which all 3 different groups stopped us and took pictures with us. But one of the guys, he's fumbling around in his pocket for his phone, pulls out his wife's underwear.
Yeah.
And I should have in the moment, and I didn't in the moment, but I should have paused for a second and been like, bro, what's the story behind your wife's underwear in your pocket? Like, is this a good luck charm or like what's the deal?
He was like, "Oh, my wife's underwear ended up in my pants from the laundry," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure they did, buddy.
Yeah.
They just happened to end up in your pocket."
Yeah, it sounds like a good luck charm. I mean, I don't think I've ever had my wife's underwear just randomly end up in any of
never
my
have.
pockets, and we do our laundry together for the last
Same.
14 years. you
Yeah.
know?
So the conclusion we came to was he just like ripped them off of her on the way out of the house.
I'm gonna need these, baby. I'm gonna catch me a fish.
So that's what we're gonna try one day.
I think it's a brilliant idea. So I think I'm going to start carrying around my wife's underwear in my pocket as a good luck charm.
Y'all can't
Courtney's
hear,
here.
but Courtney's just like giggling in the
Yeah,
background.
is that okay with you, Courtney?
She said,
she's
"Sure,
down
there
with
you
it.
go."
Special pair. I'll give you that special pair.
Oh, the special pair.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
What's the special?
that's the pair we only wear at tub time. That's it.
Nice.
After tub time, you know. Courtney, you want to be on the podcast?
She's gonna be embarrassed to get on the podcast now because
She's super
talking
scared.
about her
She's heard
underwear.
us do this crap before. She knows the crap we get into.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
Yeah. So I think that's a brilliant idea, though. I love it. the wife's underwear in the pocket. Are you going to be okay, Brad? I mean, you got to man up for a second. Just power through. We got like 8. We got like 8 minutes before we can take a break and get some water. We can hit the pause button.
That made it worse.
Do you want to take a pause?
Yeah, we probably should.
We're going to take a pause.
All right, let's see
back.
how the second half here goes.
Yeah, we had to take a break. Both of us are really struggling.
I don't even know why. Like, I've never had allergies really affect me this bad, but we did, like we said, we did just do that other podcast, and I guess talking for like 2 hours straight.
It's finally
my throat's just like
closing up. Yeah, we don't have a lot. And I neti potted before the last one, but you can probably hear it in my
getting
nasal
a little
cavity.
nasally.
So I apologize. Still give this a 5 rating on this podcast.
Even if you hate it.
We're trying to bring it to you, even though we probably shouldn't because we're both sick.
Yeah.
But we're trying to just bring you some entertaining content. Hopefully you get some laughs out of it. You know,
there's definitely going to be some laughs.
I mean, even if you're just laughing at us for being complete total douchebags and trying to create a podcast.
Yeah, but that's all right.
We're good with that. What were we talking about, Brad?
I think we're talking about some Barramundi down there in Central Florida. And so again, like, it was a really cool fish. Like, so I asked the guy, I don't know if you were around when I asked him, but I asked him how many fish were in the ponds. So the pond we were catching the little ones out of, he said like 6,500 to 7,500 in that one pond.
That was like a tiny pond too.
Yeah, I was about to say, these are not big ponds. Like, they're small enough you can easily walk around the whole pond and fish it. Like, it's nothing crazy. And then in the other ones, he said there would be like 4,000, 5,000
each one. Dang. But I didn't know.
A lot of Barramundi.
So like I caught one and I was trying to, because they told us before we went, they're like, you need to crimp the barbs and all this all this stuff. I'm still getting choked up.
Yeah.
And so it sounded like they were wanting to preserve these fish.
Right.
So I didn't know, like the first one I caught, I kind of kept it close to the water and took the hook out and he flopped out, flopped back in the water. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then you catch one and he comes over there on the golf cart and he's like, yeah, we're killing it. Yeah. I'm like, oh.
He's like, we're going to sell that one to the fish market. I'm like, wait, so we had to pay to come here and all we're doing is catching fish for you.
We're doing the work for you.
Yeah.
And it's an expensive place.
Yeah, so I
But
Googled it.
let's not tell the name because
I don't even know the name.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's the only place in the country. So it's pretty, but we're not going to give you any free
Google,
advertisement.
it's pretty easy.
Because it was very surprising that
they had no desire to
work with us.
And we had, 9 or 10 creators?
A lot. And Salt Strong.
And Salt Strong.
Like, I mean, you're getting a large chunk of the fishing industry could have promoted, which some of us, I think some people still did. But, charge us, if you got to charge us, whatever. But, like, there are people that get to go there that doesn't charge for promotion because of
the clothing they choose to wear while they're there.
Because of their gender and their apparel selections.
We were a bunch of males with no thongs.
The wrong assets.
Yeah. Assets.
Yes.
But it was still pretty cool. Like I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, I thought we were going to be fishing from a boat.
Me too.
Because I did not look up this place at all. I had no idea what we were getting into. So I thought we were fishing from a boat. We get there and it's just these little ponds. And you'd think, like that little pond, it was dang near every cast. But you would think with that many fish, like it would be pretty easy to catch them. But in the bigger ponds with the bigger fish, it really wasn't.
No, you could see there were tons of them. You could see them, and
I caught 2 decent sized ones, which it sounds like they were still considered small ones because we were guessing maybe 7-8 pounds.
Yeah,
and they said they have some up to 25.
I thought 16. I could be wrong. I thought
so that middle pond was like that 8 to 16 or whatever. The big pond, they said you'd catch like some 1 to 2s and then like some 20 pluses.
Dang.
But nobody caught one that big. I think mine and yours were the biggest of the day.
They were, yeah.
We did it.
Definitely.
We did it.
But like it was, so they were tricky to catch, which at least there was some challenge to it.
Yeah.
Because it was cool because we knew we were going to do this, and it was cool because like, okay, it's a guaranteed piece of content. We're going to fish a farm pond.
Yeah.
But so from a fisherman standpoint, it's like, that's not too invigorating. But at least it was like somewhat challenging to catch the big ones.
Yeah.
Because not everybody did, and you were fishing with a bunch of extremely talented and versed fishermen. And So that was kind of cool. But it definitely, the fish itself, I'd say, catching it was really cool.
Yeah.
Like they were the big ones that we caught anyway, but like they jump in a very cool way.
It was very similar to like catching a snook.
I said it was a mix between a bass, a snook, and a tarpon.
Yeah.
Like if you kind of put those three together, it was kind of like that.
I agree with that.
Even when they would eat, because I had some swipe on me when we first got there, they like rolled on it, and it looked just like a dang tarpon. And when they jump very similar to kind of like how a tarpon would jump. But yeah, their head and their mouth kind of look like a snook, kind of. But
almost like a little crappie-ish.
Yeah. It was different. And then I don't know what like one caught from the wild will taste like, but we have eaten one.
It probably wasn't from the wild.
Well, no, it probably came from this pond.
I'm sure it did.
Like, I mean, where else in the United States are you going to get?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Because they were advertising. I mean, it wasn't frozen. Like, it was on ice.
Yeah.
So, technically.
I guess it definitely came from there.
I mean, I guess it could have been frozen. They thawed it out and then put it on ice. But
the place we were, that is a strong possibility. Because it was sitting right next to Pampano. Whatever Pampano is.
Whatever. That looked kind of like a pompano, but not.
It's more rounded Pompano.
Yeah, whatever they do to genetically engineer pompano, it's sketchy. I
guess that was a farm-grown Pampano.
Yeah, the Asian market was fun. We did a mukbang with clickbaiters several months back.
I don't want to do that again.
You don't want to?
No.
You don't like eating gross stuff. I mean, well, who does? But you'd rather eat hot stuff.
It was like gross. I don't think it was just like weird.
Yeah,
I don't want to eat weird stuff.
Yeah, they had like these fried fish that like sardine kind of things that were
potato
whole
chip things.
Yeah, but like it had the bones in it still and everything. We ate that. Yeah, that was weird. Go back and check that video out.
Yeah,
go to Clickbaiters.
I wasn't a fan of that one.
And check it out. It was fun. It was entertaining. I think people enjoyed it.
Oh, they'll enjoy watching it. I'm just saying I wasn't a fan of doing it.
Yeah,
that was still like towards the beginning of me doing stuff with you, and I felt like I had to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, you went hard, man.
I couldn't like say no because I was like, I need to get in with these guys.
Yeah.
So just do whatever.
You feel like it paid off?
Oh yeah,
think so.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I've grown exponentially.
Sorry for the cough.
Sick and all kinds of stuff because of you.
Yeah. I know, and I just sniffed in the mic. I'm so sorry. This is the worst podcast we've yet to release because we are like both struggling here. But
it's relatable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other people sick out there too.
This is true.
But yeah, I mean, I think so. Like this time,
I'm gonna take that away from you.
I'm fidgeting. This time last
year,
I
was too. I'm like, I gotta stop. We're here for
like
you.
Touching everything on the table.
Yeah.
This time last year, I want to say I probably had, I may have like just hit 10,000 subscribers.
This time
last year, somewhere roughly around there, and I'd started the year with maybe like 2,500. So I went from 2,500 to 10,000 in 9 months?
When did you start
10 months
doing stuff with us? Has it been like just a year?
Yeah.
That's
it was
so
like
weird.
June of last year. Well, because
it feels like we've been doing it forever.
Well, because I've been fishing with you since I moved here,
right?
And so you like I would still film some videos with just you, but as far as like the clickbaiters becoming a thing and doing stuff with Brant, I think my first video with Brant and Ron in the video was like June of last year.
Okay,
2021.
So we're just a little over a year,
but. Yeah, and so I was roughly 10,000 subscribers, and I was at 19 by the end of last year. I hit 20,000 like 1st of January.
Okay.
And now I got a little over 40,000.
Growing good right now.
Trying to hit 50 this year.
You should
it's
hit
gonna be tough.
You should hit it.
Been a slow 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. YouTube, you go through these cycles of growth and not growth and not, and it can be mentally jarring.
It is
at times.
It's frustrating because you're like, why? Like,
yeah.
I posted that video from when we went to South Florida for the mullet run. Coolest video I've ever made. I spent more time than any other video editing it, trying to add in different pictures of you in a bathtub and like
That was hilarious.
editing different stuff. That was
hilarious.
funny, trying to keep their attention.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the worst video that I've posted in months.
Yeah. Which is so, YouTube just, it's so frustrating. And because there's no way to like, you just have to throw crap at the wall.
Yeah.
You think there would be some more of the, because the metrics that they say that they look at, because they give you this information, and what makes sense is the big two are click through rate and watch time.
Yep.
Which makes sense. Okay, so like I can think through that logically.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube as a platform wants people to stay on that platform. So when you post a video, what do they want people to do? They want people to click on that video.
And they want them to watch
And
it.
they want them to watch it. They don't want them to click on it and then click off. They want to make sure that these people are staying on the platform and watching these videos. So with that data, that's how I base everything that I do. From titles, thumbnails, content, everything. I utilize those metrics. And now I've been on the platform for 5 years. So I have a lot of data.
Right.
And I pay attention to it. Like, okay, what actually keeps people's attention? How can I edit this video? What kind of content can I create for my audience that keeps them engaged and entertained? What thumbnails and titles is my audience going to click on?
Right.
Because I know which ones you don't, and I know which ones you do. So I go through all these things, and we all collaborate too. We all communicate. Me, you, Brant, Ron. We all talk about this stuff. We have a lot of information.
Yep.
We should be able to utilize that information and kill it. And we do. We can post a video and get an extremely high click-through rate and watch time
Yep.
for our industry. Like we can have a very higher than average watch time because we have the data and the knowledge to do that. But a lot of the time,
However,
it doesn't mean crap.
yeah. Yep.
YouTube goes,
And you said the same thing like with your video yesterday, with your South Florida video. You had great click-through rate, great watch time,
great engagement.
great everything, and they're just not promoting it.
YouTube
And you're
goes,
like, what the heck?
We're not going to show this to anybody.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes no sense. It's so frustrating. I don't know how, like, because we, of course, even not only from our own knowledge and data from us doing it ourselves, but we watch channels and YouTube experts and even, the content that YouTube puts out themselves saying, hey, this is what you need to focus on. This is what you need to do. Like, we're constantly fine tuning our craft to a way that we feel pretty good about what we're doing. And then to still actually hit those metrics and perform well on what YouTube says you need to perform well on, and them still be like, we're not going to promote your video. So it really makes no sense. Really, just make whatever the heck you want and throw it at the wall and see what happens. Like, I mean,
basically.
there is no, like, once you get to a certain point, you need to be, if you want people watching your videos and stuff and building a brand is important, but there's no metric that's going to make you more successful than the other.
That algorithm's crazy.
They're full of crap. It's just,
you heard it here first, folks.
They're full of crap. They're just making stuff up as they go. They promote what they want to promote, I guess. And I don't know what they use to determine that, but
Yeah, I don't know.
they have a way to set it up that they're going to promote it how you want. And I mean, there's a lot of factors. You could do every single thing that YouTube wants you to do, and maybe that, like if you post more in the community, or if you post shorts because they want you to post shorts or stories, because you can even post stories. I didn't even know this. I got an email from YouTube. You can post stories. I didn't even know you could.
I've never posted a story.
Most people don't, because like YouTube's trying to be like all these other platforms, but it's like, stop.
Right.
Just
be YouTube.
Just be YouTube. Like, I don't understand that. Like, people come to YouTube to watch long form content. Like, just rule that game. You own that space. That's what's king anyway in content. I don't understand. I mean, I know it's making them money because that's why they're doing it, but it's like, I don't know. It's frustrating.
Definitely frustrating. But speaking of the travel and the Barramundi, the South Florida trips, you've done a lot more exploring than I have on these trips. I was kind of just like follow the leader kind of thing. Went down there with more of a plan, but I know you've done some more stuff going to like Vero Beach and a few other locations that you've never fished before. Didn't necessarily meet up with anybody there,
Right.
anything like that. So like, how do you address going to a new place you're completely unfamiliar? I mean, first thing you got to just find a beach access or
That's
where you're even
step
gonna
one.
try to fish.
Yeah.
But then addressing like, I mean, obviously you can go read the beach or whatever, but like trying to just figure out the whole. Let's go to a new area and figure out what to do. Like how do you even approach that?
That's what's most fun for me is the challenge of figuring it out yourself. Because I get a lot of comments even on some of these videos, like the Vero Beach video where me and Courtney fished, and we didn't do well. You know, like it wasn't like we went there and killed it. We caught some pretty random small fish,
Right.
and saw some pretty cool stuff going on with the mullet run that I wasn't prepared for. And so I get these comments where people are like, you should hire a guide that's going to show you, you know, how to really be effective. And that's not like, I've never wanted to approach my channel that way. Like, I don't mind having a guide here and there, but like 9 out of 10 times, if I'm going somewhere brand new, I just want to figure it out myself.
Right.
I don't want somebody.
That's part of the fun. Of it.
Exactly. Like, and I feel like that's, I mean, maybe it's not, but I feel like that's going to be more entertaining content anyway, even if I struggle. Like, you're going to just see that process of like what I go through to try to figure it out. And even if I'm not that successful, I'm still going to make a video because I kind of just want to show that process.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it works out, you know, like every trip that I've done, a lot of these big trips, like going to Outer Banks. Now, I met up with some guys up there that had a handle on it, but they don't fish every day. Like, they're not guides. They're just, you know, they all had full-time jobs. They're familiar with the area, but it wasn't like, you know, they knew exactly where and when and what to do. It was just I was kind of hanging out with them. Cape Cod, we went flying completely blind. Like, we met up with no one, had no information. The only information we got was from stuff that we could find via YouTube or articles. And also, once we got there, just asking people that we saw questions and asking tackle stores questions. And you can have a lot of success on those trips if you get lucky and if you just go and find the right place. But there's so many different challenges. Like in Vero Beach, for example, before I went, I look at all the, you know, I look at Google Maps and I'm looking for beach accesses. And so I find a couple of beach accesses, but you don't even know, some of those aren't open, aren't public. Like, even if you think they are, they're not. Or you get there and maybe they don't even open until like 8 o'clock or something. So you get there at sunrise.
Wait around the
and you're
parking
like,
lot.
oh, well, crap. So there's those added elements of like challenges that you have to just you have to just go and figure it out.
Right.
Which can be frustrating, but it's kind of cool at the same time.
Makes it fun.
Yeah, when you can do that. But it's, you know, fishing a new area is always fun. It's always challenging. But I try to do as much research as I can before I get there myself. And with the wealth of information and knowledge that we have like I went to Cabo San Lucas, you know, freaking Mexico.
Yeah.
Didn't hire a guide. Just went, and again, didn't have a very successful trip.
But you caught some fish.
But caught some fish, which was way more rewarding.
That's what I was about to say. It feels a lot better when you can do it yourself in a new
Absolutely.
area versus with a guide or something like that. You feel accomplished.
Yes. Even if it's not the biggest fish or really cool, amazing fish. Courtney's leaving. Bye, Courtney.
Bye.
See
ya.
Any fish is rewarding when you pull yourself out of your element completely and you do it yourself.
Right.
It's way more.
I'm sure like a lot of people listening to this probably experience the same thing coming down to
here.
our area
Yes.
or wherever they may be traveling, that they live in middle America and they come down and they're just trying to figure things out. Obviously, like they've seen our videos, but you still got to figure out, like even if you know we're at Mobile Street, you got to figure out where Mobile Street is. Like all these different locations or all that kind of stuff figuring out. And so now they some of them do hire guides. They hired us. They hired some of the other local people,
which is
around
going to be
here,
more
but-
helpful. Like, I mean, if you want to be, I'm different and I'm fishing for a way different purpose than a lot of these people. You know, there's a reason I do what I do. But if like you're coming to an area and you're like, hey, I want to be successful. I'm okay with not being successful. Yeah. What would be considered?
Yeah, for us, it's more about documenting the
Correct.
experience.
Yes.
But if you're bringing your kids on vacation, you want to put your kids on fish, hire a guide.
Yeah,
it's definitely the best approach there.
But if you want to do it our way, which a lot of people do, you know, people want to come down here and do it themselves, and you can, but you just can't have as high of expectations.
Yeah.
Even if you are an incredible fisher person, and even if you have some experience, you're going to run into a lot of elements that you may not be prepared for or understand how to approach, whereas a guide or somebody would.
Yeah, for sure. When you were down there at Vero Beach, I heard a little story that you may or may not have broke, like one of your favorite rods. Did you break a rod?
I did break a rod. I put it in the video too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times have you broken a rod before?
That's only the second one.
I was gonna say I don't know. I know I've broken one, but it was like stupid, like completely my fault. Like it had nothing to do with fishing really.
I've broken
but,
3.
Yeah.
I think about it.
Well, let's hear it. What'd you do? You broke it on like a big tarpon? Snook?
That would be way cooler. No, so this was actually at Sebastian Inlet. I met up with Ryan there, and we were fishing, and we were leaving. I'd already decided me and my wife were leaving.
You broke your rod while you were leaving the pier?
Well, I should have left already. Like because we had other things we were doing that day. I was just going to try to finish up a video from the day before. I was just trying to get some additional content, which I already had. Like Ryan had caught a nice snook, and I was like, okay, like that's all I need. I just need a big fish, and if he didn't mind me showing that content, like we were good. And so I was done for the day. We were going to go ahead and leave, but as I'm trying to leave, Ryan hooks up on a jack. And I'm like, oh, dang it.
Your favorite fish.
My favorite fish. And he had been saying all morning, like, the jacks are going to turn on and we can just start free. And I never even caught a jack on a live bait either. Yeah. So I was like, this would be cool, catching a jack on a live mullet. And so he hooks up. I'm like, dang it. All right. So, I start fishing some more. While we're fishing, we're on the inlet there, Sebastian Inlet, and we're letting our baits drift back, and somebody's cast it over our line, which is fine. It happens. Yeah. We're letting our baits drift down the thing, so our lines are in front of him, and he's not paying attention, but it's whatever, no big deal. But he throws over our line, so I get tangled with him, and I'm just reeling up, and I'm going to walk over to him. Well, they have this gate that closes off like this section of Sebastian Inlet when they're not open, whatever time they open, I don't know. But I'm just trying to get my rod over the gate, and I'm not really paying that close attention. I think I'm high enough, but I'm just kind of looking at the line. I'm just trying to pay attention to everything and do too much at once, I guess. And my rod gets caught in the gate, and just as I'm still moving and don't stop soon enough, I don't realize it and stop soon enough and just keep moving, and it just snaps. So the problem is
heartbreak.
The reason that happened is because I'm too short. If I were tall enough,
you would have made it over.
I think I could have made it. Dang. But that was my Star Paraflex, which I've said that so many times in videos. Like that's the rod that I use for my favorite style of fishing, which is throwing the big poppers, big plugs, walking the beach with just one rod. Like that's the rod that I'm using most of the time. Now the Bummy Stick is a great supplement for that. Like it's close.
Is that a shameless plug?
Yeah, I guess so.
I use the Bummy Stick for that.
Yeah, it's a great ride, and that when I use the Bummy Stick, like that's kind of what I use it for a lot. But it's a good, like you can do, it's good in between.
More versatile.
Yeah, so I do like that. But I've always said this, like the Bummy Stick's not the best at really either one or anything, but it's a great universal rod. But I would say that the Paraflex beats the Bummy Stick in that arena. So that's why I would use it a lot, because it's kind of a better rod for that type of fishing. Right. Which I thought that's what we were going to be doing that morning, was beach fishing, because that's what me and Ryan had talked about. And I only brought one rod because I was traveling, and I just took one with me that morning. But we ended up fishing the inlet, which I have other rods that would have been better for that.
Not a 10'6" right off the pier.
Exactly. So it just, it just didn't work out. But
Dang it, Ryan.
I know. I was pretty sad about that, man.
Yeah. Well, at least your birthday's coming up. Maybe somebody will send you one. Maybe your wife will get you one.
Yeah, maybe Star, send me a free ride.
Star,
I love that ride, and and I think they have a pretty good warranty. I probably could have kept it and sent it back.
They do have a really good warranty. I had it was a 10-foot Star Stellar surf rod, and me and my wife were going on a trip in her car, and I would never have to take, it was a 2-piece. I would never have to take them apart because I'd just put them in the bed of my truck. So this rod's never been apart since I bought it, but we were taking my wife's car, and I needed to do so. And so I'm trying to take this thing apart, and it is stuck. Like, I cannot get this thing apart.
I don't know what causes that.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's salt or...
Yeah, maybe sand getting in. I don't know.
But I know what you mean.
I've for too long.
I've dealt with that, too.
It would not come apart. And so I'm, like, trying to torque it, and I got my hand on the guide, and I'm just, like, trying to get this thing to turn, and I just bend the guide right off of it. And I took it into the store. I got it from there. Like, yeah, we'll give you another one. Here's a new one. We'll send it back.
So, like
dang, like that was my fault.
I know. Yeah. They don't care. So I've learned this recently, but a lot of the time, yes, Star has a great warranty, but a lot of these companies have a deal with the manufacturers or through third parties or whatever. I don't know exactly how it all works, but a lot of the times, if it's less than $100 wholesale, not retail, but like if the product that they're returning is less than $100, they get like a certain amount of those every month anyway. So like for no questions asked, basically. So like with Star, that particular tackle store can return 10 rods
a month
as long as it's under $100 wholesale. It doesn't matter how. I mean, they could have, just gone in the parking lot and thrown it on the ground and stomped on it, and broke it, and been like, "Yeah, we need a new one," and they'll just swap it out. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's probably more the tackle store,
like up to their discretion,
being able to do it. And if they are kind of getting close to the limit, they may be like, "Yeah, Star's not going to warranty that," but it's really them.
And I guess you could still go directly through Star if you want, like if your tackle store wouldn't do that.
If it's a legit, like, because they can tell too. I mean, if you're like fighting a big fish and it just breaks in a situation that it shouldn't have broken, and they can look at that rod and go, "Yeah, that broke in an area that."
Like, yeah, you definitely slammed that in the car door.
Or like, we know what's up here.
I'm sure they see some of that.
But I don't know how all that works. But it is pretty nice when you have a Star or something like that. See, I broke a TFO.
Those are expensive.
And what they understand too is a lot of times people won't even go through the hassle. Well, people like me.
Yeah. Lazy people.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't want to go through the hassle of shipping it back to them. I mean, now, the tackle store will do that sometimes, I guess. But like the TFO, it broke, and I took it to the tackle store, and they're like, "Yeah, they'll warranty it, but it's through TFO. You got to send it to them." I'm like, well, "I ain't doing that."
Yeah, I'll just buy a new one.
Yeah, I know. Like, I ain't going through the trouble of putting this in a tube and shipping it on. Like, screw that. I'm just buy another one. Which I guess some people would do it, but in my situation, a lot of this stuff I get for free or discounted, or it's a business expense anyway. So it's like, well, dang,
need another tax write-off.
We'll just go buy another one.
Well, if you want to buy me one of those Paraflexes when you go buy you another one,
just get two.
It's a tax write-off. So.
Yeah, maybe we get like a discount since we get two of them. It's a sweet rod, like that 10.6 Paraflex.
Yeah. I threw. I had a buddy that had one. That I casted once, and it definitely a nice rod.
Yeah, I've never
have to pick one up.
You can use. I know some people use it for set rig fishing, and I never really have. But for throwing plugs and stuff, dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to pick one up. I suck at podcasting.
We are the worst podcasters. I mean, I wouldn't even really know because I mentioned this in our last podcast, but I've never even tuned into a podcast. Yeah, maybe I should. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Most of the ones that I listen to are like super professional. Like they're there to provide like
valuable information,
education, and value.
Well, we are way off that.
We're like pretty much entertainment. So you can't really compare us to them because you're not necessarily here to learn exactly how to do something. Like the title of this is not how to gain 500,000 subscribers in 6 months.
Yeah, you can probably pick up some nuggets if you are wanting to learn maybe a few things about fishing a little bit. But probably where you can get the most information if you want is like if you're trying to create content.
Yeah.
Because we talk about that a decent amount and the ins and outs of that. But aside from that, which is very minimal, it's pretty much just, I'm assuming there's podcasts like this. I mean,
yeah, there definitely is.
Okay, good.
I just never listened to them.
I mean, because hopefully we're not trying to do something.
We are creating a new niche.
Yeah, I doubt that. But I don't tune in podcasts. Yeah. I've seen snippets from podcasts, on with people's short form stuff that floats around. But
I think we're doing fine.
We're killing it, Brad.
We are killing it.
Let us know.
What I'm gonna do though, I think I've been looking at buying a new camera potentially.
Oh yeah.
And then we will no longer have the 30-second thing because it kind of gets in our way sometimes. It's nice to take a break if we need to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like we're on a roll and we have to take a break because we know the camera's about to stop.
There are times I'm like looking at the clock and I'm like, dang it, we're about to have to. I'm like waiting for that moment to be like, all right, stop. Yeah. But yeah, so we have to stop. I don't know if it was said.
I don't know.
But we have to, every 30 minutes, we at least have to have a cut because the camera
just turns off
for 30 minutes.
Stupid Canon.
But it is nice that we have this board that actually keeps track of the time and we can pause it. Like this is a very, it works great.
Yeah.
I love this little board.
Works perfect.
And we've had a lot of fun with it because of the buttons.
We've definitely touched a lot of buttons.
Yeah, we do touch buttons. But right now, something this week, as we're filming this, I don't know when you're watching or listening to this, but as we're filming it, it's we got that hurricane. Is Ian? Is it Ian? Ian about to hit, and it's a lot of the areas that we just were visiting.
Like it looks like it's going to hit north of Tampa, which is literally exactly where we were.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
And so I saw like when they first started talking about it, which they'll talk about the hurricane coming into the Gulf, like when the hurricane's not even a hurricane. It's just like a little thunderstorm.
Remind me
forever
to
away
get on
from
that
here.
tangent because I got some things to say about that. But keep going, bro.
But so when they first started talking about it was gonna like go over Cuba and end up becoming like a Category 4 hurricane. But then they were suggesting it would go down to like a 1. But now I saw earlier that it's supposed to hit as like a 2.
Or 3.
But it's kind of going back a little. Like they was moving a little west, but now the track's going back east. So I think the further south it hits, the stronger it could be, because they are expecting it to decline. But yeah, it looks like Tampa area is gonna get a 2, maybe 3 hurricane,
which is serious. And like with the Sally that hit here, I think it was categorized as a 2, and a lot of people stayed because it looked like it was going to be a 1.
Yeah.
It's kind of what was forecasted. It ended up being a 2, but it ended up getting pretty strong, and it was a high 2.
Yeah.
Might as well have been a 3.
I mean, I think there was definitely some winds that were in a 3, but to move on up, it has to be sustained winds.
Right.
We didn't have sustained winds at whatever that mile per hour is. But yeah, Sally, I'd say it's a 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, even with that hurricane, like Tampa's a long way from here. But even with that, just getting a hurricane in the Gulf
Screws us up.
affects us
Fishing.
our fishing as well.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, even today, I mean, looking out your window, it's
windy.
I don't even know if the hurricane's in the Gulf. It might be like on top of Cuba or something right now.
Right.
But it's already windy here, and it's hundreds of miles away.
That was the thing about the year Sally hit. I remember specifically looking it up. We had 12 tropical systems in the Gulf of Mexico that season. And it doesn't, so even if it's just like a depression or a storm, even if it's not a hurricane, but once it gets in the Gulf, it changes things for us.
Right.
Like the swells, the winds, everything here. As far as fishing goes, you got to kind of come up with a different game plan.
Yeah.
And it makes it challenging.
I'm a little bit, like, I'm not excited to have a hurricane, but
Never.
to have some conditions that are going to be different than what we've had, because we
do
had,
need a
this is
change.
the first storm that we've had all year.
From a fishing standpoint, it could be helpful.
Yes.
Like to kind of reset some things. Now it messes us up while it's here.
Yeah,
It can be challenging because but we do need a reset, which will kind of help mix
yeah,
things
'cause
up.
we've not had any rough surf all summer.
We'd rather not have a
been
hurricane, though.
fairly flat. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it could benefit, like you said, by
Right.
resetting some stuff. We'll see though.
But it's weird because we've talked about this before. Anybody that lives in an area that gets hit by hurricanes, you're always like, "Oh, please don't come towards us." Yeah, but
Not again.
You're always wishing it on somebody else, which is a weird thing because it feels weird being like, "Don't hit us, hit them," But that's how everybody feels.
It's been a while since one's hit South Florida, so
They're
had one 2
they're
years
due.
ago.
I mean, I hate it. I wish we never had another hurricane again, but they're definitely due because I mean we have had this section from Louisiana to I'd say Panama City over the last 4 or 5 years has gotten it
yeah,
heavy.
Taking a toll.
We have paid our freaking dues
Yeah.
over the last 4 or 5 years.
It's your turn, Florida.
Sorry, Florida, but I mean because anybody in Florida will. It's one of those things that like. My fish is bigger than yours, but with hurricanes, like, oh, we get more hurricanes than you, or, like, oh, we're Tornado Alley. Like everybody wants to boast like that they're the worst or whatever. Everything's a freaking competition. But if you look it up and you look at the last 4 or 5 years,
The northern Gulf Coast.
we
has
have
taken a
gotten it
beating.
up the rear,
Yep.
a lot. So and
Straight up the. All right, that was the wrong.
that would
button.
kind of work though. That kind of work. But Florida has kind of been in the clear the last few years.
Yeah.
I mean, I know if you look over the last, however many years, I'm sure Florida is probably number 1 on the hurricane list.
Oh yeah.
But I'd say in recent years we have taken that flag.
Yeah.
So we need a break.
show.
But I wish, obviously, I mean, it's just what you deal with living in a coastal community.
It's the cost of living in paradise.
But the most frustrating thing that I'll say about these hurricanes, I mean, obviously the hurricane itself sucks, but leading up to it is these freaking pages on Facebook that, okay, it'll be 2 weeks from anything and you'll start seeing these models of a dang hurricane right on your doorstep.
Yeah.
And people, the problem is everybody falls for it. Like, stop sharing that crap because it'll have like 80 million shares on Facebook because everybody's freaking out about it. And there's just like, that's so dumb because when they forecast these hurricanes, number one, like it has to be at a certain point before they can even really get a decent
Like an
model.
accurate reading.
And they use seriously like 50 different models
Yeah.
to get an average track and all this stuff. And they don't get that until very, very late, like pretty close. And they actually
I think like 4 or 5 days is really like the soonest you can get
accurate
somewhat accurate. And even
information.
then, it's not.
100%.
Yeah.
But they do pretty good. Like once the real meteorologists start, talking about it and giving the model projections and everything, they do pretty good. Like even this storm, like from the time that they've been like, okay, now we can actually start paying attention to this thing and charting it.
Yeah.
It's going kind of where they're saying it's going to go for the most part. But outside of that, man, that is so frustrating that people start getting all freaked out because it's so annoying because everybody starts chiming in on it and sharing it and tagging me in it. I'm like, dude, bro, chill out. Like,
Yeah. It's not even going to be close to us.
like people were concerned about this one, and from the very start, like I always go look at James Spann.
Yep,
If you're looking
that's who
for,
I keep up
if
with
you're
now,
looking
too.
for a meteorologist that's going to give you accurate, good information, go follow James Spann. Because anytime somebody shares something or tags me or says something, I go look at his page, and he's not even talking about it half the time because it's not even worth talking about. But then when he starts talking about it, it's like, okay. And usually he's giving you very, very solid information.
Yeah, we have some new neighbors from Michigan that moved in just like a couple of months ago, and she posted a picture on Facebook. They were at the grocery store, like stocking up on groceries for the hurricane. I'm
She
like,
being serious?
Yeah, I was like, it's not even gonna be close. Like, it's not even gonna rain here.
There's so much misinformation about this stuff.
Yeah, but like those pages you were talking about, because there are those 50 different models, there's going to be one that has it coming to Alabama.
Absolutely. And they use that
so
one.
all they do is this page will take the Alabama one and show it to all the Alabama people, and then
Yep.
this page will take the Mississippi one and show it to all the Mississippi people.
And shares out the kazoo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Freak
so
everybody out.
It's
'Cause
so
even Sean was talking about, he sent me a text the other day. He was like, what size plywood do I need to get to cover my windows?
which is a good thing. I mean, be prepared. But you already needed to be thinking about that long before hurricane season,
Right.
because there's a chance at any given moment you're going to have one coming knocking at your door.
Right.
But I mean, to get concerned about these things at the time that people start getting concerned and freaking out, it's like, chill out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, if you live here, you need to have a plan.
exactly.
Already ready to go no matter what. And then you're going to have 3 to 4 days to
get prepared.
Because
the thing is, even because the way, and the media is bad about this too, you just got to follow the right people. Like, even if this storm came up and was going to hit the north central Gulf Coast, if this thing was going to hit Panama City, it would look like, we would be in the cone and everything. And it would look like, when you look at a satellite image of this gigantic hurricane that's taking up the entire Gulf of Mexico, that's coming to hit Panama City, it looks like you're going to get it. But that thing, if the eye is going to go through Panama City, it's barely going to blow here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's far enough away from us. We're going to be fine. We're going to get some rain and whatnot. And we're even on the good side. But even say the opposite side, like even if it's going to go hit Louisiana, like we've had some pretty major hurricanes hit Louisiana. And it gets windy here. We get some rain.
Rough surf.
But it ain't bad. Like,
Yeah.
but if you look at the,
You don't need to strap your roof down.
no, like if you look at these models and everything, people are gonna be freaking. Like, I guarantee you, if that hurricane was on the doorstep of Louisiana, like the eye of it, I guarantee you, the folks that just moved here from Michigan are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, we're
going back to Michigan."
But like that, we're gonna be fine. Like
Yeah.
it really, the worst of that hurricane is really around that eye wall.
Yeah, very
and that's where
centralized.
that storm surge is gonna be an issue. That's where the highest winds are gonna be an issue. So you're going to deal with all the flooding issues. You're going to deal with the wind issues and all that stuff. But outside of that, you're going to get some rain. You're going to get a little wind. You might get a trash can blown over or a trampoline, or you might lose a shingle. But like, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be okay.
No reason to like leave town.
Yeah, or stock up on gas. But people panic and it freaks. And then it becomes a problem because it's like everybody's buying gas. And then you have to go buy gas. It's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I wish people would get educated on this stuff.
Yeah.
Just pay attention. That's all you have to do. Just pay attention. Every time one of these storms comes, keep up with it. Don't give your opinions. Don't chime in.
Yeah.
Just keep up with it.
Yeah.
Just track it.
You don't need to share it
Follow
to
it.
everybody. You don't have to tag everybody you
Follow
know
the
that lives on the
meteorologists.
coast.
Yep, and see where they track it, see where it actually goes. Pay attention to the damage. Like if you just start paying attention, like what actually happens, you'll be like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
You'll understand. Pay attention. Don't just
Come on, people.
dadgummit. That's a good place
That's
to
a
end
good way to wrap it up there, Beach Bum.
I had to get it off my chest.
Let's go do some hurricane prepping.
Yeah,
The,
hey,
the one thing I do if I know there's going to be a close hurricane is you got to stock up on the beer.
that's right. You got to make sure you get
Ain't
plenty
no
of beer.
party like a hurricane party.
That's right. But unfortunately, we are thinking about you guys over in Tampa.
Yeah,
we love that
absolutely.
area. We got friends there.
Yeah, Cameron.
Yeah, all
we
those
gotta hit
guys.
'em up.
Yeah, we got to make sure they're okay. So hopefully you guys are doing okay. We are bummed about that because we do hate hurricanes. We know how bad they are. We have had our fair share.
Yep.
But we will catch you on the next one.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.
We don't do this crap.
We always gotta bring in the voices.
I like the Kevin Hart one. Yeah. Where's Wayne the Rock Johnson? I'm gonna kick your. I'm so tough. I'm a bad. You do such a good job with that. Does that just like Chris Rock? It does. Oh yeah. I'm missing the top 2 feet of my body. Oh, that is perfect.
Oh yeah. The voice of reason.